The head hog is reportedly back in 2025. What does the return of Sam Pittman mean for the Razorbacks? And is it the right move or the wrong move for Arkansas? Hello, everyone. I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Check us out via podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. The following is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com. Use promo code SECU at sign up to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 or more lineup. That's prizepicks.com. Promo code SECU to get that $50 bonus today. Reports are surfacing that Sam Pittman will return in 2025 as the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks. It was reported earlier today that Brett McMurphy, in this tweet pictured on the screen, Arkansas coach Sam Pittman will return in 2025. Sources close to the program told Action Network HQ. There was speculation Pittman may retire, but Pittman, who is 29 and 31 with 3 bowl games, will return for a 6th season at Arkansas. He is scheduled to undergo hip replacement surgery on Tuesday, and we wish Coach Pittman the best with his hip replacement surgery that will take place on Tuesday. But again, guys, through 5 seasons, 29 and 31, 3 bowl games to his credit. Now, let's be fair about Pittman in 2024, right? Because I know there's a lot of mixed feelings on this, and I want to talk the pros, the cons, and just what it means, again, for the Razorbacks moving forward. You think about what Arkansas did in 2024. I think there were positive strides made, no doubt. I think Arkansas absolutely took a step forward. It may have been a very, very small step, but it was a step forward nonetheless, right? I think we all said coming into the season, if you get to 6-6, if you can get to that magic win number of 6 and get back to a bowl game, that Sam Pittman was going to be safe. Also, you brought in Bobby Petrino. You wanted to see offensive progression, right? You wanted to see a major step forward taken by the offense, especially after last year. What happened with Dan Enos and just the disaster that was with KJ Jefferson, Rocket Sanders, and the dysfunction on the offensive side. I think you were much better on the offensive side. Defensively, I thought you were improved there as well with Travis Williams, who I think is a star and an up-and-coming star in the coaching profession as your defensive coordinator. So I think there were positive strides made. And I think if bringing Sam Pittman back means you can retain this staff, keep Bobby Petrino on as OC, keep Travis Williams on as DC, I think if you can hold this thing together, well, then I think you're cooking. Here's the problem, though. And I'll say this, I genuinely feel for Arkansas fans in this situation because you have to ask yourself after 5 years of Sam Pittman, guys, what is this program? Like, what are we? What are we? What are the yearly expectations? What are the expectations year in, year out for Razorbacks football? You have to look yourself in the mirror and say, what are we in this new day and age of college football with an expanded college football playoff that is going from 12 teams to 14 teams in just 2 seasons? And so I understand the frustration of Arkansas faithful everywhere because as many positive strides were made this year in 2024, there were steps forward, right? We were at that game in Fayetteville when Arkansas took down Tennessee. But too often, it was more of the same. It was a lot of the inconsistencies. And listen, Arkansas was a really, really fun team from the outside perspective, right? They were super inconsistent. They were volatile. On their best day, they could beat Tennessee. On their best day, they could take Texas down to the wire. But on their worst day, they struggled with UAB. On their worst day, they found a way to lose to Missouri again. On their worst day, they got blasted by a not-so-great LSU team. On their worst day, they give up 60 to Ole Miss. And so I think Arkansas fans are really, really tired of the roller coaster ride that has been the Sam Pittman era. And again, to have a losing record through 5 seasons, I mean, you're not always what your record says you are, but you kind of are. And I think what Sam Pittman has shown you I don't think it's out of the question that Arkansas could go have an 8 or 9 win season under Sam Pittman. I'm not saying that, but I think the Pittman tenure in Fayetteville very much so is what it is. I think you're looking at 6-6, 7-5. You're going to be floating in that range on a year-in, year-out basis. And again, I'm sure there's a lot of hope that keeping Sam Pittman, you'll be able to keep Bobby Petrino on staff. You'll keep Travis Williams on staff. I believe Taylon Green has another year if he wants to come back, which why wouldn't he? Right? So you can keep some continuity there. I understand that from that perspective. Also, guys, if we're being totally transparent when it comes to Pittman, because again, a lot of Arkansas folks are upset today. And I totally hear you. I don't blame you. Because 5 years in this day and age of college football is plenty of time to know what you have. Let's face it, though. I think the whole revenue sharing thing, every school getting $22 million, the uncertainty of college athletics is not only affecting Arkansas, but everyone in the entire conference, everyone in the sport. And so I think you're going to see less coaches fired than ever before because Sam Pittman didn't have a year where it all just came crumbling down and it completely went off the tracks. He did just enough getting to a bowl game to keep his job. And I know there was speculation all season. I mean, I was one, I thought maybe Sam Pittman would decide to hang it up and decide to retire. But the guy's a competitor. And I'm not confused as to why he would want to come back and compete. He loves Arkansas. He loves Fayetteville. He loves the Hogs. And he wants to be the one that, dare I say, fixes it and gets it back on track. But again, I do feel for my friends and colleagues that love and cover the Arkansas Razorbacks because you're kind of lost in the wilderness right now as an Arkansas fan. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. And we've kind of gotten to that point with Sam Pittman where that 9-win season, guys, it feels like eons ago. It really does. What was that, 2021? The 9-win season, Outback Bowl, feels like eons ago. Now, I'll say this, to be fair to Pittman, because his tenure at Arkansas has been interesting, right? He took over, kind of when the NIL stuff really started going and portal and everything. And I know I'm not trying to sound like one making excuses, but Sam Pittman's brought a certain level of stability to the Arkansas Razorbacks football program. I mean, you think about the last guy, who I will not even name out of respect for all the great Hogs out there tuned in. You think about the last guy and his shortcomings and his problems and the way he torpedoed the program. Sam Pittman ain't all that bad. But at some point, when is enough, right? At some point, when is just being a fun, inconsistent football team that at their very best can beat anybody when it all comes together, but too often it's marred by inconsistent play and just getting blown out on your home field. That continues to be a problem as well. At what point is enough? And again, Arkansas, you have to stop and evaluate and say, what are we? What do we want to be? What is the expectation, the yearly expectation of our program? And if you believe Sam Pittman is the best possible option to get you to that, then by all means, you bring him back as they are doing in 2025. The problem is, I think most Hog fans have lost belief that Sam Pittman is that guy. So we all like Sam Pittman. He's a great dude. We all talk about how great of a fit he is, but when you're starting the conversation with that, it's kind of the same thing we said coming into this season. When you're starting the conversation with that, that's not a positive. Because it's deflecting from the record. It's deflecting what you've done on the field. And to have a losing record through 5 seasons, dare I say, kind of tells you everything you need to know. And so now we turn the page to 2025. If Pittman is indeed back, what does he have to do in 2025 to get another year? Will that be the year? Now it's kind of a weird thing of like, Are we waiting on him to retire? Are we ever going to make a move on him? Does he have another 5-6 years in the tank where if he gets this thing rolling, he's going to be the guy long term? Like, you're just sort of lost in the wilderness right now if you're Arkansas football. You're in a place of just you're in sports purgatory, essentially. Like, you are, right? You're in sports purgatory where it's like you're just good enough to keep the head guy around and keep doing what you've been doing, which isn't really exactly what you want, but it's not terrible. But you're not bad enough to this point to spark real change. And at minimum, change gives you hope. And right now, I don't know, as much as I know Arkansas fans love Sam Pittman. And listen, going there in person, talking to folks, and this was earlier in the season, sure, but they all wanted him gone last year. I don't think 6-6 was enough to really inspire confidence that things are going to be different next year. And that's the way I would look at it, guys. It's uninspiring news. This is not news that if you're a fan of the Razorbacks is going to fire you up and get you excited to purchase season tickets and get you excited to get back out there to Fayetteville and go to a game. It's not inspiring news. And I don't know where the hope comes from that things will be different. It's happened before. They won 9 games a few years ago, but I feel for our Arkansas folks out there because it's this feeling of being in sports purgatory and just not having a lot of hope for what's next. Although you've got Bobby Petrino, you've got Travis Williams, you've got to hold these pieces together when it comes to your coordinators. I think that's your best possible shot, again, to build off 2024, go into 2025, and do something more, say win 8 or 9 games and be kind of a college football playoff dark horse. But we'll see. It'll be interesting. Sam Pittman back in 2025. Guys, what are your thoughts on this? Arkansas fans, how are you feeling about the future of Razorbacks football? And simply, is bringing Sam Pittman back in 25 the right decision or the wrong decision for the future of the Hogs football program? Guys, that's going to do all for me. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, turn notifications. Check us out via podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, you can also find us across all social media platforms as well as our website, SECUnfiltered.com. Until next time, I'm Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. Appreciate each and every single one of you tuning in, and we will catch you on the other side.